The only way that we're going to stop this is eventually we're all going to have to put our bodies on the line. You're going to have to be willing to do this.
Some radical leftists listening to Michael Moore and taking the fight against President Trump to new heights. A protester yesterday scaling the Statue of Liberty on Independence Day before being captured by police 89 feet in the air. She's part of the anti-Trump Rise and Resist group who were at the monument calling for the abolishment of ICE. Posting on Instagram, quote, "Rise and Resist is at the Statue of Liberty demanding Trump and the GOP hashtag abolish ICE, reunite families now, halt deportations, and end detention as a deterrent." Today, Therese Patricia Akumu pleaded not guilty at her federal court appearance. Afterwards, she addressed the press.
Michelle Obama, our beloved First Lady that I care so much about, said when they go low, we go high, and I went as high as I could.
Here with me now, Ben Shapiro, editor-in-chief of the DailyWire.com. Ben, 2 hours she was perched on that statue. What did you think of this stunt?
I mean, it's idiotic. They then had to evacuate the entire island because they decided to do the stunt. The real issue with the stunt is not that someone is pulling a public relations ploy in order to get media attention. People do this sort of thing all the time. The point is this actually productive for her cause? Like, let's say that you were her, you were she, and you thought that you were going to bring attention to this particular cause. Is the best way to do that to climb up on the Statue of Liberty and annoy everyone in the country on the 4th of July?
What's the answer to that question? Did she win over any supporters with this?
No, I mean, the only people who are into this are the people who already support her. But I guess that's where we are in the country at this point, is that everybody's attempting to rev up the base more than they are attempting to win over people in the middle. And that's particularly true for folks on the left who think the louder they scream, the more people they're going to win over. It seems like precisely the opposite is true. It seems the louder they scream, the more people are looking at the Trump administration and saying, well, at least they're not shutting down the Statue of Liberty on the 4th of July.
She was taking advice from Michael Moore, as you just heard him earlier. We have to, in his words, put our bodies on the line to stop Trump. Is this what the far left movement is pushing for at this point?
Well, I mean, there's no question that I think that the heart of the far left is with this particular part of the movement. The Maxine Waters shout people down in gas stations. The let's go to a restaurant and shout Christian Nielsen out of a restaurant. The let's badger Elaine Chao as she comes out of as she comes out of dinner. This is where the left's heart is, and this is the real problem for the Democratic Party, because Schumer and Pelosi are sitting there saying, guys, we're alienating a huge swath of the country, and the hard left is saying, well, you have no heart, you don't have the passion. Well, when the passion is not united with the leadership of the Democratic Party, it's pretty clear who's going to lose, and it's not going to be the passion. The passion is going to win. There's a wild shift to the left that's happening thanks to this far left part of the Democratic Party. It doesn't bode well for them in future election cycles if they continue it, which I suppose is fine with me.
Well, obviously, the 28-year-old Democrat socialist brought a lot of attention to this. The Hill, a piece in The Hill this morning, progressives poised to shape agenda if Dems take back House. Is that the case?
I mean, there's no question that they believe that all of the spirit is with the Bernie Sanders left of the movement. Now, what's really fascinating is that there was sort of a gap between the intersectional left and the Bernie Sanders left. A lot of the people on the intersectional left, people who thought about identity politics and race, they said that Bernie Sanders wasn't paying enough attention to issues of race and sexual orientation and sex, that he was almost too focused on socialism. Ocasio-Cortez is doing a good job of bridging that gap because she is an intersectional candidate. Obviously, she's of minority ethnicity, and she's a woman. And she's also preaching Bernie Sanders socialism, and that's why the party is seeing her as this sort of great uniting figure, even though she is as radical can be.
You know, you wonder if they risk turning off some of their own voters going this far to the left. But it is something that we're watching, and clearly the world was watching as that woman scaled the Statue of Liberty on Independence Day yesterday. Ben Shapiro, thank you.
It's a better deal because profits are going up. If I was allowed to buy stock, which I can't because of my job and my husband's job, man, that apple is looking delicious.
All right, so you said the Fed is going to tighten up. What you mean is the Fed might increase interest rates, which will make it more expensive for companies to borrow money, which will make it more expensive for them to run their businesses, which is going to lower their stock value.
No, well, I think they got, first of all, they got a big tax break.
Right.
They have more money than they can use. I think the tightening of interest rates has to do with what you've seen in the Treasury market. That's one of the reactions and one of the normal computer trading algorithms is that When you see stocks go in one direction, bond yields go in the other direction, that's one thing we're reacting to. I think it's more meaningful, the interest rates for individuals, because as you have credit card debt, or if you're locking in a home mortgage, I mean, if you're looking at one right now, lock that baby down. Because we've had way too much loose free money through the entire last administration. Now it's getting pulled in, and those chickens are coming home to roost. We have to pay the interest rate bill. But the economy is booming. That's what started this, and that's good news, not bad news.
The other thing that's happened that you can see, and you know this from polling, and you know this from the rise in balances on your MasterCard and your Visas across America, is that people feel not only just more confident about the economy, but they're beginning to do the one thing that we had a question mark about. When will Main Street feel some of what Wall Street is feeling?
That's a great point.
And so this is an answer back to that, and that actually is positive. Lisa?
Some of what we're seeing is inflation, which we're seeing in wages, which is great. That's what we've been asking for all along. Why is America, you know, people are getting richer on Wall Street, but we're not seeing wages go up. Now we are seeing wages go up, and that's why the down part is going down. This is more of an equalizing. This is great for Main Street. Go ahead, Lisa.
And I think that's also why we've seen a tightening on the generic ballot as well. If you remember back in December, Republicans were losing by 15 points, which was incredibly concerning looking ahead at the 2018 midterm elections. And now there's only a 2-point deficit. They've been able to close that gap. So I think the calculations that Speaker Paul Ryan and Republicans made when they said that once Americans start seeing more take-home pay, once they start seeing the benefits of our tax reform law, their opinions on this are going to change, and their opinions about us are going to change. And I think we're seeing that. I mean, now the midterm elections are still really, really far away, so anything could change. But at least what we're seeing right now, I think their calculations were correct.